Oscar voting ended yesterday, February 27th, and the ceremony is Sunday, March 4th. As I've said many times before, I'm ready for this season to be over, but that doesn't mean I can't make predictions. So I wanted to kick it off by starting with the design and technical categories. Blade Runner, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, Darkest Hour, Star Wars, and The Shape of Water are the juggernauts in the below-the-line categories this year. We'll begin with the category that seems to have made its way into every other movie these days. Visual effects. Prior to 2010, only 3 films were nominated in this category, just simply because there weren't enough contenders. Now, consistently every year, there are 5 movies nominated. I think the ones to beat are Blade Runner 2049 and War for the Planet of the Apes. The effects in Blade Runner are so good that you can't tell what's CGI and what isn't. And the motion capture work being done in War for the Planet of the Apes makes you forget that you're just watching Andy Serkis with a bunch of dots all over his face. Then again, I could be totally wrong, and Star Wars could just be too big to ignore. Costume design. Just take a look at the history of this category and your eventual winner is incredibly obvious. The period pieces where the extravagant gowns are the star are the ones that always triumph. Beauty and the Beast had stunning pieces, and it could easily win here, much like other fantasy films like Alice in Wonderland. Despite all of that, my money is definitely on Phantom Thread, since after all it's about a guy who designs dresses, and holy crap are they beautiful. Makeup and hair. If Darkest Hour doesn't win this, all bets are off for the evening. Gary Oldman's Winston Churchill makeup job is almost more of the star of the movie than he is, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Production design. Guillermo del Toro's films always have impeccable sets that are built from the ground up. For this reason, I think The Shape of Water is a slam dunk here. Blade Runner and Beauty and the Beast are beautiful to look at as well, though a lot of the production design has to lend itself to terrific visual effects. Sound editing and sound mixing. More often than not, the same movies are nominated for both sound editing and sound mixing. They will likely both go to the same movie since most people voting don't really know the difference between the two. Sound editing refers to all of the sound elements that get added in post, since most of what you hear in film was not recorded on set. Sound mixing refers to the balance of all the sound elements, how the music, dialogue, and added sounds flow together. I'm thinking Dunkirk will get both of these because it's easily the biggest sound showcase of all of the choices, and the Cinema Audio Society went for it last week. It'll be a nice consolation prize for the film since it likely won't win that much else. Film editing. Baby Driver has been picking up wins in this category at plenty of other award shows, I think because the editing is so flashy. The best edited picture of these choices is definitely Dunkirk. Its brilliant war sequences and the way it jumps between its storylines is bar none. Cinematography. What an awesome selection of brilliant cinematographers. Roger Deakins is surely the favorite to win, not only because his work in Blade Runner is some of his best and most profound, but also because he has been nominated 14 times and still hasn't won. Original song. Everyone has heard This Is Me from The Greatest Showman probably a million times at this point. It is the anthem to end all anthems. I think it is much less nuanced than Mystery of Love by the underrated Sufjan Stevens, and isn't the soul heart of the film the way Remember Me is for Coco.
In my arms again, remember me.
But I think This Is Me is unstoppable at this point, because it doesn't matter if you've seen the movie or not to give it your vote. Original score. Between these 5 guys, there must be 100 nominations shared between all of them, and I don't think I'm exaggerating by very much. These are some of the most legendary composers working today, and all are basically household names. I think Alexander Desplat's vibrant, poignant score in The Shape of Water gives it the edge, but if there's a category that can go to anyone, it's this one. John Williams knows character motifs better than anyone, and his scores for the Star Wars flicks always provide the story even more layers, whereas Hans Zimmer can't be bested at supplying a chilling atmosphere with every selection he writes.